everyone, coming live from my kitchen. And today I thought I would just do a little impromptu cooking video. It's not fancy or anything. My kitchen is a mess. I just came home from shopping and I decided to put on my bean soup. I decided this morning actually I'm going to do my bean soup. And I didn't prepare for this yesterday, so this is kind of how I make it. This is my favorite bean soup recipe and the one that my dad requests me to make multiple pots of when I go back and visit and cook for him and fill his freezer. So basically this is a ham and bean soup recipe, but I kind of make it my own. So what I found here, I wanted to make this recipe a couple of months ago, but I've been having a hell of a time finding ham hocks, and it's ham season, so I was lucky enough to find a pack of ham hocks. And I usually like to have 4 ham hocks, or even a ham shank if I can find it. But finding a ham shank is tough, at least here where I live. So I picked up a pretty good pack. I had these in the freezer, so I just took them out. And the recipe that I use calls for 8 cups of water. But I like to use chicken broth just because it gives a little bit of extra flavor. You know, you can always substitute broth in no matter what you're making, or things like that. So to that, I'm using the, it's not a bougie household. I don't use name brand everything. I'm using the reduced chicken broth, which I already added it into my pot, and I just filled the rest up of it with water. So that's gonna be 4 more cups of water. And so like anytime you're making any sort of soup, of course, as it boils and evaporates away, I always add water to my soup as it's cooking through, especially if I want to have a lot of a brothier soup, which I do in this case. This is bean soup. So of course, as these beans cook down for the next couple of hours, it's going to absorb some of this broth. So I have my ham hocks in here, and we have my 8 cups of water and broth. And then let me just make sure. I want to add in, the only thing I haven't chopped up are my onions in this bowl here. See, I didn't plan on doing this. I've got to have a different setup because I have one hand where I'm holding the camera and the other hand doing the work. So I chopped up an entire bag of baby carrots and most of an entire, I don't know if it's a stalk of celery, because to me a stalk of celery is one stick of celery. But I chopped up 3/4 of the whole thing of celery, and I also put some leaves. I put some celery leaves down in here because it does add a little bit of this extra flavor. So I also, here's all my kitchen, all this stuff. I have to chop up my onion. I haven't done that yet. I usually let this go first, and then I start to put my onion in. Even though the onion, damn it, I have a little bit of water underneath my pot, which I didn't want to happen. I want to chop up my onion next. And then I'm going to put in garlic. My recipe calls for 3 cloves of garlic, but I put way more in because I love garlic. Thyme, black pepper, and a bay leaf. So I have my bay leaf here, my pepper, my thyme, and I have my salt here, but I don't salt until almost near the end because ham hocks, yes, there isn't much meat on it, but when this cooks over the next several hours, that will come out of the bone, the marrow, everything that's in there. Next, I'm going to add my beans. So what I didn't know I was going to make beans today. Typically, I would let these soak overnight, the way my mother taught me, but you can do a quick boil. What that means is you just take a pound. This recipe calls for 1.5 cups of beans, but I just put the whole pound bag in because I always add more broth, I add more stuff. I don't always follow, exactly the recipe all the time for cooking. Baking's different, but cooking, yes. So this is 1 pound bag of navy beans. You can use Great Northern, you can use navy, you can use, I stick between those two just because I like a white bean, and I like navy beans and I like Great Northern beans. So I just use what I had up in my pantry. I have Great Northern beans downstairs in my food storage, but I wanted to use what I had up here in my pantry. So to this, let me get my spoon out here. Get this all going in here nicely. once again, I'm not a professional with filming in the kitchen yet. I need to get, like I've talked about if you watch my wax videos, my chop and chats especially, I need to get a different tripod and a different filming way if I'm going to do cooking. But I thought, hey, why not? Give it a try. So basically what I'm going to do next is I'm going to chop up my onion, put my garlic in, and then put my spices in, and I'm going to let this cook for a few hours. And then I might post another video after this has cooked down so you can see. And yeah, so this is my beans. And I know, make fun of me if you want to. I'm an amateur with filming cooking stuff. So I'm going to put in pepper, my bay leaves, just a couple bay leaves, thyme. This is the magic ingredient for this soup. Taste it as you go because you can put too much thyme. And then I always spice things up and put a little bit of cayenne in because we like spicy in our household. So other than that, hope you have a great Sunday. Happy Easter in a week. I'm going to be making some deviled eggs here in a little bit. You can see my eggs I have sitting over there. And yep, so talk to you guys soon.